You can probably spend a couple of hours playing video games or scrolling through social media without any problems. It doesn't feel difficult, and your attention stays focused, almost automatically. But the moment you try to study for even 30 minutes, it suddenly becomes hard. And if you try to spend a few hours working on a project, your enthusiasm disappears almost immediately. All of this happens despite the fact that you logically understand useful activities, studying, exercising, developing skills, or a business bring long-term benefits, yet you still gravitate toward what's easy instead of what's hard. At first glance, the reason seems simple. One activity requires effort, the other doesn't. But then why are some people able to train, study, and work every day without struggling, while others constantly procrastinate? How is it that some manage to do difficult tasks regularly, while others can barely get started? Is it possible to make hard things feel easier? To understand this, we need to look at an important chemical in the brain, dopamine. It's often referred to as the pleasure molecule, but that's not entirely accurate. Its real purpose is to create desire. Dopamine is what makes us want things, and this desire becomes the internal fuel that drives action. Without dopamine, you wouldn't even feel motivated to get out of bed. You would have no inner push to do anything. To show how strongly dopamine controls behavior, scientists conducted experiments on rats. They implanted electrodes into areas of the brain linked to the reward system. Every time a rat pressed a lever, the researchers stimulated that region. The results were astonishing. The rats pressed the lever over and over for hours on end. They stopped eating, drinking, and sleeping. All they wanted was to keep pressing the lever until they collapsed from exhaustion. This demonstrated how powerful the dopamine system is. The pleasure itself isn't necessary. The craving for it becomes overwhelming, drowning out everything else. When researchers blocked dopamine production, the opposite happened. The rats became so apathetic that they couldn't even bring themselves to approach a bowl of food. They didn't eat, move, or show any interest in life. If food was placed directly in their mouths, they could taste it, but they wouldn't approach it on their own. They had lost not the ability to experience pleasure, but the desire to act. It's dopamine that drives the organism to search, to pursue, to strive. We imagine that hunger, thirst, or basic needs motivate us, but the key element behind motivation is dopamine. When its level is low, you feel no internal impulse to do anything, even if you know you should. These animal experiments are extreme, but the same mechanisms operate in everyday life. Our brain sets priorities based on how much dopamine it expects to receive. If an activity promises a big dopamine spike, the brain chases it. If not, it avoids it. This is why we are naturally drawn to activities that bring quick gratification: tasty food, bright videos, games, social media. They produce instant bursts of dopamine. But tasks where the reward is delayed, studying, exercising, working, don't feel immediately meaningful to the brain. It doesn't sense quick payoff and therefore doesn't provide motivation. When you're about to eat a favorite dish, dopamine rises before the food touches your tongue in anticipation. Even if the food is unhealthy or doesn't actually feel that great, the brain still labels it as a source of dopamine. It cares only about repeating the stimulus, not the consequences. Drugs work the same way. Cocaine, heroin, and others trigger extremely intense dopamine spikes, which is why addiction becomes so powerful. The brain rewrites its priorities, pushing everything else aside. But today, the main issue isn't drugs. Modern digital environments do something similar, just more subtly. Social media, games, pornography, endless notifications. All of these are constant dopamine triggers. Each time you check your phone, your brain anticipates a reward, a message, a like, a funny video. And when it appears, dopamine rises again. Without noticing, you start behaving like the rat that presses the lever repeatedly. People often think this is harmless. But the problem is that the body strives for balance, homeostasis. If dopamine becomes too frequent or too intense, the brain reduces receptor sensitivity. This means you need more and more stimulation to feel the same amount of pleasure or motivation. This is dopamine tolerance. Ordinary activities stop being enjoyable. Studying, working, reading, even spending time with people feels dull, because compared to constant dopamine spikes, they seem too low. Over time, a person loses the ability to enjoy real life. They need stronger and stronger stimuli just to feel normal. The same thing happens to addicts. Without the substance, life feels empty. A similar, milder version of this happens to people dependent on their phone, games, sweets, or constant entertainment. What can be done? One approach is the so-called dopamine detox. Its purpose is to restore receptor sensitivity by reducing overstimulation and giving the brain time to recover. This means taking at least one day without anything that triggers fast dopamine spikes. No phone, no music, no shows, no games, no sweets, no entertainment of any kind. A day of silence, walking, meditating, thinking, writing. At first, it feels unbearable because your brain is used to constant stimulation. But if you get through it, the reset begins. Receptors start to recover, and simple things feel meaningful again. You can compare this to food. If you eat at an expensive restaurant every day, a simple bowl of rice seems bland. But if you go hungry for a couple of days, the same rice tastes amazing. Dopamine works the same way. When you stop bombarding your brain with intense stimuli, you regain the ability to enjoy ordinary experiences. If cutting everything at once feels too difficult, you can start gently choose one dopamine source like social media and remove it for one day a week. Even that produces noticeable results. When the brain doesn't get its usual bursts, it begins searching for alternative dopamine sources, and these become productive activities. The boredom you feel is not a problem. It's the doorway to recovery. If you want deeper changes, you must not only detox, but also rebuild your motivational system. You need to learn to enjoy progress itself. One way is to track your achievements. Cleaned your room, worked out, read a chapter, advanced your project, write it down. Over time, the brain starts associating effort with reward, not just distractions with reward. Dopamine is not the enemy. It's a powerful force that can work for you. It gives energy when directed correctly. But if you start your day with quick pleasures, phone, sugar, games, your brain receives the reward before earning it, and afterward, nothing else feels worth doing. If instead you tackle something hard first and save the reward for later, your motivation gradually shifts. If you want dramatic change, try a full day without any stimulation. No phone, no communication, no music, no movies, no games, no special food, just you, paper, walking, and silence. At first you'll feel anxiety, boredom, irritation. Your brain will demand its usual hits. But if you push through, a sense of calm arrives, time slows down. Your thoughts become clearer, your desires more understandable. It's like fasting for the mind by removing the sweet, constant information diet. You restore your ability to enjoy the real world. Of course, if you struggle with severe addiction, chemical or drug-related professional help is necessary, and sudden withdrawal can be dangerous. But habits like social media, games, and constant content consumption can be managed independently. The important point is that detox alone isn't the final goal. True change happens when you learn to enjoy growth, movement, and real effort. Dopamine itself is neutral, neither good nor bad. What matters is how you direct it. You can waste it on instant pleasures or invest it into long-term goals. And if you notice that it's getting harder to concentrate, that any important task feels like resistance, it's usually not laziness, it's overstimulation. To restore energy, you need to let the brain rest. Try an hour of silence. One evening without music, one day without your phone, you'll feel your focus returning, your body relaxing, your mind clearing. Eventually you understand, motivation doesn't appear on its own. It follows action. When you start moving, energy arrives. But if you wait for inspiration, you stay stuck. Don't let dopamine control you. Make it work for you.